We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Jim. Jim recently added a vintage Technics turntable.
Technics.
And
Panasonic.
I haven't seen them in a long time. Technics EQ spectrum analyzer to his system. Okay, I don't know what the EQ spectrum analyzer is. It the thing that makes the smiley face?
It's the lights.
The lights.
The lights.
Oh, the thing that goes up, the lights?
The lights.
Love those things. Totally.
Analyzes the spectrum, bounces the lights.
Bounces the lights.
Bounces the lights.
Anyway, his Denon AVR X3300W doesn't have a phono input, but he solved that with an external phono preamp, but he's having trouble with the EQ analyzer. He's not using it for an actual EQ. He just wants the bouncing light bars for the old school aesthetic. So all he needs is to have it receive an audio signal.
Yeah.
What is so hard about this? Yes, dude. I want to tell you that somebody listening to this podcast is waiting for me to rip into this guy for being pet. This is an awesome idea that I would totally steal. If I had one of those things, I would be doing the same thing.
When he was talking vintage, like, I bet he found this at like a garage sale or a used, pawn shop or something.
Absolutely.
I bet he didn't pay like a huge amount of money for this. And the glowing bouncing lights, I'm like, yeah, that is cool.
That is so cool. All right, so he's tried using the front speaker pre-outs from the X3300, but the signal was very low, and the light bars on the EQ barely made even a blip during the peaks. So he connected the EQ to the Zone 2 RCA outputs, the Zone 2 volume way up. The light bars bounce like they should, but now he has the annoyance of having to turn on both zones and remember turn off Zone 2 when he's done. Could he use a cheap headphone amplifier connected to the speaker pre-outs to feed the EQ? Just EQ to a boosted signal rather than the Zone 2 solution he has now. He doesn't want to buy a Harmony remote, and the Harmony wouldn't work with the turntable and spectrum analyzer anyway. They're both old enough that they only have manual power switches. Sweet. Well, I actually kind of think that would work. Wouldn't that work?
It should, because, you're taking a stereo analog signal, feeding it into a headphone amplifier, which would send out a stereo analog signal.
We're calling it a headphone amplifier. It's any sort of thing with the volume knob on it. That's what you want.
It's just that it's not speaker binding posts on the other end of it. That's the point
key.
I'm making.
Yeah, that's the key. So yeah,
that should work. Yeah,
should work. I like it. Send us a picture.
Yeah. Wouldn't have to be terribly expensive at all. Yeah. So it's not like you need fantastic fidelity for the bouncing lights.
Just lights. Just pretty lights.
And for anyone who's saying, why doesn't he just turn up the output level of the pre-outs? Well, it's because if you did that, it would affect the actual speakers as well.
Yeah.
Because you have the one trim level and the one master volume. It affects both the pre-outs and the speaker binding posts on the receivers. So that isn't a solution. So yeah, I think your idea would work.
So speaking of which, the X3300W also lack switched AC outlets. I haven't seen any of those in a while. So
yeah, it's been a while.
Is there any way to easily power everything on instead of having to manually power on the turntable and spectrum analyzer individually every time? Yes, he agrees that these are first world problems. Thank you, sir, for acknowledging that. There are switched outlets on things like APCs and other devices.
Yeah, and you wouldn't even have to go APC, because sometimes to get what they call it like master and slave power outlets.
Yeah.
And sometimes to get that feature on APC is strangely higher up in their lineup. So if you just go to Home Depot, you can probably find
them. Yeah.
Like just a power, like a power strip.
Yeah.
Right. But you want one that has master and slave output, so that when power is being drawn from the master outlet, it then automatically switches on the slave outlets. Right. And that means when you click the power button to power up your X3300, that will then power on the slave outlets, which will then fire up your other equipment.
And when you do that, you have to listen to Depeche Mode at the same time. It has to be. All right. That was a bad joke. I take it back. I'm sorry. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.